What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time. It's been a long January. I don't know if anyone else is feeling that way, but I sure am. So I feel like I haven't made a video in like 3 months, but it's been 29 days, 28 days. I think it's 29th. So I wanted to start off 2020, the first video of this new year, this new decade, with a video that's a little bit different than some of the other ones I did. Last year when I first started this channel, I really kicked it off with the magical cash book videos, which I still do, and if you guys are interested, I can still update y'all with any results that I may have with those. Currently, I am not doing a ritual right now. I haven't in maybe a month or so, but I still have the book, and I still like and enjoy to work with Nitika, so I'm sure it can happen again. But I wanted to talk to you guys today, or tell you really, about my experience with a Servitor. Not specifically from the Magical Servitors book from the Gallery of Magic, although I have read that book. But I don't know how closely the method that I followed follows the one in their book. Because I mostly went on some friends' YouTube video channels and found out, through them, the best way to create a Servitor. So I'm here to talk about my experience with it, what I did, what happened, what went wrong, and what I would recommend not doing, because the results did not manifest the way that I thought. And that can mean something in addition to what not to do with magic in general, or cautions to take. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So I created this Servitor. I followed my good friend Arjuna. I have his YouTube. I can post a little thing up here. You guys, if you watch my other videos, you may have seen him already. I followed mostly his method and some other YouTubers. I can also put links to them for their method on how to create a Servitor. And what a Servitor is it's essentially a thought form that we create from our own energy, our own magical energy, our own lifeline. We create this thought form out of ourselves, and it's kind of like an imaginary, I view it as sort of an imaginary friend, or just this little bottle or spirit of energy, not bottle of energy, but spirit of energy that we assign a task or a mission to complete that we want done for us or for ourselves. So my experience with this, I created a Servitor, my first time creating a Servitor ever, other than the ones that I may have unintentionally did when I was a child, not really knowing at the time that was a Servitor. This was the first intentional Servitor that I created. I named it Lotus. It's just the name that came to me. I won't go too much into like how to create Servitors, because there's other videos on those that will go into them, so I won't take away from that. This is simply my experience with the Servitor that I created. But I created it out of my own energy. I built it, manifested its existence. I wrote down its name. I wrote down what I wanted it to, with the task that I wanted it to carry out, which was to find me a car, the best car at the right price, most affordable price for me, because I'm in the market, I'm looking to buy a car. So I was like, I wonder if a Servitor can have this sort of, can carry out this sort of assignment. And sure, they can. Let me just say really quick that at the time that I created the Servitor, I had a lot of hesitations. I had a lot of reservations, uncertainties, not uncertainties that it would work, but uncertainties really about kind of what I was doing creating the Servitor. And I believe because of that, those hesitancies, a skepticism in me manifested into the Servitor, creating this energy of the Servitor that was not entirely beneficial to me and to itself. Because here's what happened. So I create this Servitor, I give it its assignment. I believe I had placed it, it was living in my left hip. So kind of like in my pocket, you know, and I always carried around, it didn't last for very long, but I always carried around the little piece of paper I had with me. He had a fatal flaw, which I do not remember because based on my friend Arjuna's video, I had created its fatal flaw with words from 3 different languages so that it would be very difficult for me to kill on accident. Or, you know, not kill, but just it deplete its existence, I guess. So, you know, because I didn't want to accidentally think about its fatal flaw. So it was just like some random foreign languages that I just have no idea. I threw the paper away, so there's no way, which I shouldn't have. I should have kept it for this video. But anyways, and I drew its sigil, which is just a little simple squiggly with a line at the end for me. So what happened? A few days later, it just took place within a couple days, maybe a week. I tell my servitor, Lotus, to go out and find this car. So what happens in a couple days? Meanwhile, as the servitor is out there working, my faith in it is not 100%. Or maybe that's not the right way to say it. It was 100%, but it was on rocky ground, I guess. Or there was just, I didn't feel as confident with this magic. There was just something off with it, you know, maybe my whole intent wasn't there, and my mindset at the time, I was stressed, and I think that definitely came into play with the Servitor experience. So what went wrong is one morning, I wake up, go on Facebook, scrolling through, and I see on one of these arts groups that I run, which I can also post a link below, my account was charged, like, it lost like $150 to $200 in ads, in charging for Facebook ads that I did not post. So I get on Facebook and I have all these comments on this post, get this, for a red Toyota Corolla on sale for like $1,500 or something, or not on sale, but for sale for $1,500 by some person on the internet somewhere. Meanwhile, though, I was scammed out of $150 to $200 because these ads were charging my card on my Facebook account for this car that was brought into my reality, brought into my perception, that is for sale. I immediately thought that this is the work of my servitor. This ended in chaos. It ended in corruption. It ended in me losing money, which I got back. I called the bank and I handled it. But I remember that day waking up and being like, oh my God, like I needed this money in my account. Like, what is happening? It is my belief that this servitor brought me this car, which seemed like a good deal on whatever sort of Facebook Marketplace ad it was running through my Facebook group. But because of the energy that I had put into this servitor, which was not pure, which was not clear, which had some skepticism, it had some bad vibes, it did not manifest in the most successful way that it could have. It manifested in me essentially not benefiting from this at all. You know, my account was hacked or something. My credit card, I had to get a new debit card because of this. I took all the safety precautions and I was able to get the money back, but still, I never want to wake up. No one ever wants to wake up to see that their Facebook has been hacked, their card has been charged, and there's like all this spam on their account from something that I didn't put there. And I don't share this group with anybody. I run it by myself. So it was very concerning. I was a little bit freaked out. I was like, okay, so obviously the servitor had some power. It has power. I never doubted the power. I think it was because I didn't get as informed as I would have liked to, even though clearly it worked. It just did not manifest. This servitor did do what I asked for. It did find me a car at a good price, supposedly, and brought it to my attention, but in a poorly resulting way. I mean, it immediately after this, I activated my servitor's fatal flaw. I was like, nope, we are not gonna lose any more money over you. Servitor is no longer there. Lotus is no longer living in my left hip. I no longer have the paper. I threw the whole thing away because I was like, you know what, if I'm going to do this again, I'm just going to restart completely. And it's okay to activate your Servitor's fatal flaw at any point. Its lifespan is entirely up to us, up to you. I could have, if it had been successful, maybe I would have kept it, 6 months or until the task at hand was accomplished. But because of what happened instead, based on, not the Servitor, because the Servitor came from my energy, right? It came from my energy field. So it was a creation entirely from me. So it's not surprising that this manifested the way it did, because the energy that I put out there was not confident and whole and firm in what I wanted. I think if my intent had been clearer and I had been more specific in maybe, what I wanted it to find, rather than just showing me a car at a fair price in any way, maybe I could have said, introduce me to a friend in the neighborhood. I don't know. It's worth experimenting with again, because this previous time did not go well. It just didn't go well. And sometimes that happens. Magic doesn't always go as we plan or as we expect. Well, really, I don't know if it ever goes as we expect. But sometimes it just goes poorly. It goes south. And a lot of that has to do with what's going on internally and in our own energy field. What are we absorbing? What are we absorbing that we're putting back out there? Because that's what magic is this energy work. So we have to be very cautious as magicians or witches or whatever we want to call ourselves of, what energy we're creating in the craft that we're performing. So clearly, I need some more work with Servitors, but that's okay. I can try again. And now I know what not to do. I know how to be a bit more prepared for next time, because I don't want that same thing to happen again. And maybe I'd start smaller. Maybe I'd start with a Servitor that could boost my confidence a little bit, or a Servitor that could, help me to focus more at my artistic goals or something. Something that doesn't involve having to go find a car. I used other magic for that, which was more successful, which I can get into later. The 72 Angels of Magic from the Gallery of Magic book is a good one. If you guys have never used that one at all, I recommend it. I haven't. I used it a couple times. I still would like to. So anyways, guys, that is my Servitor experience. It did not go as I planned. It was not really necessarily even a fun experience. While I had the idea to create this Servitor, I was a little bit uncertain of whether or not I should even do it. And I think that also manifested into its existence, because I was uncertain of whether the Servitor would be the right way to find the result that I was looking for. And I don't think it was, especially with my first time of it being a Servitor, or my first time creating a Servitor. Not that it's not a helpful tool, not that it's not, a good form of magic to use. It is, and it's worth trying again. But be careful, because whether or not it works, it may work, but it may not work well. It may not work right. It's like anything. Not everything is always going to work well and correctly 100% of the time. Especially us as humans, Whatever we are feeling, whatever we are thinking, whatever we are putting out there is what is going into our magic. Because if we're not in control of our mind and we're not in control of our magic, then someone else is in control. And this Servitor had kind of gained its own little independence and gone off and done something I didn't really want it to do, but it didn't know that because I didn't give it clear instructions. So it's kind of interesting, and I wanted to make a video on this and share my experience, because it is completely, in my belief, the Servitor thing, because that has never happened before then on my Facebook, and it has not happened since. And maybe this happened like a month or so ago. It's hard to tell because time is an illusion, and it really feels like it could be March by now, but it's still January. So a lot can happen with magic, guys, so it's important to be careful. And hopefully this video teaches anyone You know, you can learn from this, learn what not to do. If anyone else has their own Servitor experience, please let me know if you have anything similar that's happened. Similar, worse, better, good, you know. Hopefully my next Servitor attempts will be positive. I won't be losing money or having to deal with identity fraud or anything, so. But it also goes to show the power of magic, the power of our mind. So happy 2020, guys. Happy Chinese New Year, which passed just a few days ago, I believe. Actually, it might have been a week ago. I don't know. I'm all messed up on my days and stuff, so. I wanted to get this video out in January while it was still January. And, you know, let me know what you guys want to see on this channel for this year. Because it's not only going to be Magical Cashbook, but magic seems to be the most popular topic out that people want to, you know, want to see, want to hear others' experience, myself included. So I'll have a few more videos coming up this year with my friend. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Peace.